So we're here with Grant Killian, who is one of the race directors for the Apex race, but he is also the team captain of the Apex race team, who's going to Ecuador really soon. So what do you expect of the race in Ecuador, Grant?
I don't know. I kind of expect to be surprised, and expecting the unexpected is really a hallmark of adventure racing. So we've been prepared for lush jungle and rainforest. We've also been preparing for high towering Andean peaks, 4,000 or 5,000 meters, and everything in between. So from sea level, which literally some of the jungle is, to 5,000 meters. And we expect it to be very windy in places and very wet and muddy in places. Everything you would imagine with a jungle, but could also have some very cold, snowy sections. And we're going to bike and we'll run and paddle and have some rope sections. And beyond just the course itself, we're looking forward to meeting up with some of the other teams, some friends that we've not seen for several years, and some new friends we'll get a chance to make. So all in all, I think it's going to be a great few days down there.
Very cool. And how do you go about handling the altitude?
That's a loaded question. In Switzerland, as my Swiss doctor has suggested to me, you don't worry about the altitude because you're a healthy person, and if you start to exhibit any symptoms of edema and that sort of thing, then you go get medical help. But in Switzerland, they're very conservative with their prescriptions. And my teammates, which are from the United States, on the other hand, it's a different culture there, maybe where the legal system is prescribing drugs more than the actual doctors. And so the doctors have all prescribed Diamox for my teammates, and they're on a steady course of this to help them acclimatize before the race. Once the racing begins, I don't think it's suggested that you take it unless you exhibit more symptoms. So it'll be a very interesting case study. I will be acclimatizing just with no preparation, trying to stay hydrated, probably put a little more electrolytes in any of my drinks, and try not to drink just too much pure water, maybe soups, get some calories in along with the water. For me, that'll be my main weapon for combating the altitude, whereas my teammates will be doing that, the hydration side of it, but also we'll have some chemical assistance. And we'll see. Ask me in a week how it works out.
Yeah, we will definitely follow up. And how have you prepared physically? Are you in good shape?
Well, let's turn the camera around, and who's asking me? Stefan Kalbeck, the mad Swedish ultra racer here. By comparison with the interviewer, I'm probably in lousy shape, but by my standards, I'm in pretty good shape. Not the greatest shape. We have a 4-month-old baby at home, and that occupies as much time as any training possibly could. But I think in condition to go and have fun and experience a beautiful part of the world I've never been to, and spend several days with some old friends from the States who I know, I'm certainly in perfect condition for that, and I'm sure we'll have a great time. And that's our real race goal, is to go down, maybe evangelize a little bit for the Apex race, connect with some friends in the Adventure Racing World Series, make acquaintances with some new people, and have a good time. That's our real priority. And however many teams finish ahead of us or behind us, that honestly doesn't bother us, or doesn't occupy our attention at all. We want to cross the finish line and take a lot of great pictures and bring home a lot of great memories. That's really where our priorities lie.
Now, what about strategies for the Apex race team? Can you say anything about that, or are they all secret?
We have some secret strategies. No, it's funny. I think it's like an open strategy that the more often you race, the more mentally prepared you come to each race. And this is, I don't know, maybe race number 15, 20 that I've done that's in excess of, a day or so of racing. So you get a fair amount of experience, and you start to see patterns and what to expect in the course. And this race totally bucks the trend that I've prepared for mentally and physically, really, where the races over the last several years have gotten a little longer, the legs get longer, you see your support crew, if you even have a support crew, very infrequently. This race has gone the opposite extreme. We'll see our support crew at least twice a day, and the stages are smaller, broken up, so that we'll see plenty of opportunity to refuel, change clothes if we get wet. If we're hungry, we'll have a chance to get hot food right away. So I think from a strategy standpoint, maybe we're going to hopefully apply some of the strategies from longer races where you don't see support, so maybe we breeze through some of these transition areas and not spend even a minute. We check in and we check out and just go, maybe grabbing some fresh water is all. But as far as any secret strategies that I don't think any of the other teams are thinking of, no, we don't have any of those other than our positive attitudes, and maybe I have some Swiss chocolate that will power us through some of those low points.
And we were thinking about that, going through the information given out by the race, that there might not be 3 days, might be a bit shorter than that. Is that what you think?
You're going to get me on camera for this, right? On paper, based on the outline of the 10 stages and the distances involved, it looks to me like it's less than 3 days. Certainly for an elite level team. Not that we're in that elite caliber, but there are other teams that are in the race. And so yeah, that would make me think it's less than 3 days. But we don't see the altitude involved. We don't see the specific terrain we're going through. We don't know if the maps are any good or not. There's a lot of unknowns still. So it would be too early to make any bold prediction other than, at least right now on paper, it looks to be a little shorter than 3 days. For us, our team, that's good news. That gives us probably a little extra time to make it to the finish line. For the fast teams, that maybe means they don't sleep at all. Maybe they're just going to power through the whole way. I'm sure for them, looking at the same information I'm looking at, they're starting to think, well, do we really invest a couple hours sleeping when maybe we're only going to be a couple hours from the finish line after the second day? So it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. And I think the key is we're going to have to see the course and how much elevation is involved.
Very cool. We'll see how it or what happens, and we'll follow up after the race. And just when we have you here on camera, is there, what would you say is the key thing to think about when you might be entering the Apex race?
The key thing to think about, well, it depends, I guess, what your goals are. But for anyone who's been to Switzerland and maybe been to this the Bernese Oberland, it's truly breathtaking. There's not a single person out there who's an adventure racer who's seen this area and hasn't imagined a race through this setting. Just fabulous. Even people who aren't adventure racers, probably when they first arrive and they look around, they see the snow-capped peaks and the crystal blue waters and the canyons and the valleys and the flowers. It's just unbelievable terrain. It really is like a picture-perfect setting for a race. I know when I first laid eyes on that area, I thought this would be a fantastic spot for a race. And so the fact that now there actually is a race in this fantastic spot, I would just be fighting to get to the front of the line, to participate in a race like that, because you don't get a race in these really gorgeous and distinct settings. And this is going to showcase the best that Switzerland has to offer, and really the best that Europe has to offer. It's the spine of Europe, the Alps. And this is where people have been coming for centuries to experience the outdoors. It's like the birthplace of the outdoor industry in terms of skiing, that sort of thing that happened here in the Alps. So the Apex race is really taking things to a next level. We're based out of Interlaken, which is Europe's adventure capital. So there's people that are wingsuit jumping. There's probably sports I don't even know about, rolling down the hill in giant plastic hamster balls. There's no telling the fun and inventive things that these imaginative citizens of Interlaken have cooked up for people. And the fact that we can include that into an adventure race, it just makes it more exciting and more fun. So I think the combination of a beautiful setting and so much variety and infrastructure built around adventure is what's going to make the race really unique and worth visiting, in my opinion.
And anyone who comes will get the pleasure of meeting you again, right?
Well, yes, although it sounds like I might get the night shift as far as operations go. So
you'll get only night shifts.
Only night shifts. So in the daytime, maybe they won't see me, but at night, that's when I'll come out. And yeah, of course, I wouldn't miss it.
All right, thanks so much, Grant, and good luck in Ecuador. We'll check in with you in about a week and a half.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much.